everybody. How we doing, BX? Is labor in the house? It is such a pleasure to start the day here in the BX with so many friends and partners. And I want to first say thank you to Jeannie Pak, our interim president and CEO of EDC. I want to acknowledge a number of our administrative leaders that we have here with us, including our Deputy Mayor, Helen Arteaga. We have our Director, Kate McKenzie of the Mayor's Office of Food Policy. We have, soon to come out here, Borough President of the Bronx, Vanessa Gibson. If we can also give her a shout out for another great event-packed Bronx week that we had here. We want to thank Maria Torres, the Hunts Point CEO. We want to thank Victoria Melendez, a resident at Peninsula Building 1A. We want to thank Ademola Oyefesu, the VP of UFCW. David Kramer, the president of Hudson Companies. James Patchett, the CEO of Gilbane. Members of Bronx CB2, the Point Community Development Corporation. And I know that Jeannie has already gone union by union, but if we can have a loud round of applause for organized labor here in the building. We are here in Hunts Point, through which so much of the food that nourishes New Yorkers travels before it arrives on a restaurant plate or lands in a grocery store cart. The Hunts Point Cooperative Market is nearby. As many of you know, it is the largest food distribution center anywhere in the world. The wholesalers who walk through its hundreds of thousands of feet of floor space can pick between some of the ripest produce in the region, some of the freshest fish on the East Coast, some of the highest quality meat anywhere in the country. And yet, so many New Yorkers in this same neighborhood and across the Bronx cannot say the same. 77% of households in surrounding neighborhoods cannot afford basic needs. More than 50% of households have relied on public assistance in the last 12 months alone. And when nearby families go shopping for groceries, there are not enough affordable options nearby. With only one full-service supermarket within a quarter mile, thousands of New Yorkers have only limited options. We are here together today to change that and to chart a new course. Last month, we announced that we would fulfill a campaign promise, that we would lower prices by creating a network of city-owned grocery stores, one in each borough. In these stores, prices will be cheaper. Workers will be paid fairly and treated with dignity. Going to the grocery store will no longer cause that same anxiety for so many New Yorkers. Now, on April 13th, we announced the first site, La Marqueta en el Barrio. And in doing so, honoring the legacy of Fiorella LaGuardia, who opened a site close to 100 years prior with the same mission of delivering cheaper goods to New Yorkers. Today, my friends, I am so proud to announce that the Bronx location will be here at the Peninsula. And New Yorkers will not need to wait long for costs to drop. This store will be the first of the 5 city-run grocery stores to open. Bronx residents will be able to begin shopping here next year. It is going to be a 20,000 square foot location, and its ambition is perfectly placed at the Peninsula, which will house 740 units of 100% affordable housing by the time that it's fully built. And as we heard from Jeannie, it'll be located on the site of the former Spofford Juvenile Detention Facility, somewhere that for so many years was synonymous with neglect and mistreatment. This was a place of failure, where young, predominantly low-income New Yorkers were subjected to brutal physical conditions, human rights violations, and physical abuse. We are reclaiming that same site to tell a very different story. This store, and the Peninsula as a whole, will serve as physical proof of our conviction that government can be a force for good, that government can drive change that improves people's lives. And standing here this morning, I cannot help but think of the words of our 40th president, Ronald Reagan. He famously said, The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." It's a good quote, but I disagree. I think 9 more terrifying words are actually "I worked all day and can't feed my family." We are going to use the power of government to lower prices and make it easier for New Yorkers to put food on the table. When government understands its purpose as serving the very working people that it has left behind time and again, it can make a difference in the most pressing struggles facing our city today. It's not just that government can help, it's that government must help, and our government will help. And I want to thank organized labor for being a part of this announcement, because as we have spoken about a cost of living crisis, as we have spoken about an affordability crisis, we know that at the heart of it is the inequality that runs rampant, not just in this city, but across the country. And when we ask ourselves what is the most effective tool at combating that inequality, we come back to the same answer time and again: union density. And I thank you, all of you, for showing us time and again what a path looks like to actually deliver for working people. Because today, city government looks to join you in that same fight by making it easier for a working person to live and stay and build a life in the city that they have helped to run for so many years. This is the start of a new day for the Bronx, one that New Yorkers can actually afford. Now, it is such a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you. I am now going to pass the microphone back to Jeannie Pak, our interim president and CEO of the EDC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Mamdani. Is everyone warm enough? I'd now like to call Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos días a todos. Bienvenidos, damas y caballeros. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What a pleasure to be here with all of you for the announcement of a new city-run and operated grocery store right here in the heart of the South Bronx. First, I want to thank our mayor, Zohran Mamdani, to EDC, all of our city officials, labor leaders and unions in the house, to our elected officials, past and present, to Hudson, Gilbane, Manny, Bronx Community Board 2, The Point, CCFY, the Southern Boulevard Bid, Bronx EDC, and all of my South Bronx soldiers who are here today for this exciting announcement. First, let me acknowledge those on the front lines years ago who fought tirelessly and relentlessly for the closure of the Spofford Juvenile Detention Center. You helped to imagine what this space could be for our community. As the cost of living continues to rise, too many of our neighbors are struggling to afford basic necessities for themselves and their families. That ain't right. Access to affordable, high quality, and healthy food is a basic human right. Yet the cost of groceries continues to put healthy meals out of reach for far too many of our families across this borough. With the creation of a city-run grocery store, NYC Grocery, right here at the site of a former youth detention center, our city has taken an important and bold step towards addressing food insecurity, expanding access to fresh produce, and delivering for our families each and every day with nutritious food, with affordable food, with dignity and respect. Today, we are transforming a site once associated with pain and trauma and mass incarceration into a place that is rooted in community, in healing, in building, in opportunity and community care. This project represents, folks, what is possible when government listens to the people and invests directly in its needs. It is about turning our pain into purposeful work. It is about turning our storms into strength. It is about creating pathways for families to not only survive, but thrive. I want to thank our mayor and his team for announcing the second city-run grocery store right here at La Peninsula. This is a beautiful space. Thank you, Mayor, for showing up for the Bronx in a real way, being about action and attention. I look forward to opening this grocery store, creating good, paying, sustainable union jobs, and new opportunities for our local residents here in Hunts Point. And I look forward to working with Hudson, Gilbane, and Manny and all of our unions to make sure that La Peninsula Part 2 and Part 3 continues to develop right here in the South Bronx. This is such an important moment for us, and I want to say congratulations to the people of the South Bronx. You never gave up on what the possibilities could be. From Community Board 2 to the Sullivan Boulevard bid, to the Point, to CCFY, to so many of our advocates that said the South Bronx deserves better. We are going to get better, and we're going to keep raising the standards of what living and affordability and safety and access to healthy food is all about, folks. We are just getting started. Felicidades a todos. Gracias a todos. Congratulations. And thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, for being here today.
Thank you so much, Borough President. Our next speaker is one of Hunts Point's most vocal advocates, Maria Torres, President and CEO of the Point CDC. Thank you so much, Maria. Next, I'd like to call Victoria Melendez, a resident here at the Peninsula.
Good afternoon. I'm a resident of Peninsula, which is directed by Money Management. I moved in here 4 years ago, and I was very proud for this building, which is beautiful. The community is very strong, and we are definitely striving. Thank you to Money Management, thank you to Ms. Meany. And we are looking forward to the future with this new development coming up. The reason why we need the supermarket is because I have noticed myself, I don't drive, and my elderly tenants in my building, we have to walk at least 6 blocks to the nearest supermarket. And that is a little difficult because if we're in the wintertime, cold weather, it's difficult. So that is one of the reasons. Another reason is the transportation. We need more public buses. Yes. We definitely need more transportation. We need more public buses. Not only for the people who doesn't drive, but for elderly and handicapped. Also, the fact that we are definitely need, with this supermarket, we're looking forward to new jobs for the community itself. And I think that, like myself, I'm definitely looking forward to work with this project because I really think that offering us this chance to build. And I have been bothering money management and Ms. Minnie for a supermarket since I moved in here. And that was one of my pet peeves. I wasn't happy about that because I myself had to go to Costco, I gotta pay Uber, and if I go over there and I'm looking for sales, but how can I consider me having sales when I have to pay Uber back with my grocery? That's not sale. That is not sale. So I definitely look forward to this new supermarket, so at least I can be able to put some money back in my pocket, because we got light bill to pay, we got rent to pay, we got other things, we got kids in college. So with this new supermarket, it will benefit all of us, and it will put a little bit of more money in our pocket for other things. So at this point, I'm definitely very proud to represent the Peninsula as a resident, and I'm looking forward to work with the mayor. If he needs somebody to work with him, he can look for me. And I'll definitely look forward to this beautiful, great development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victoria. That was very gratifying about hearing your lived experience. That's what we're trying to change here. Our last speaker is Ademola Oyefeso, International VP of United Food and Commercial Workers Union.
Good morning, everybody. Is labor in the house? Is labor in the house? Thank you. My name's Ademola Oyefeso. I'm the International Vice President for the 1.2 million member United Food and Commercial Workers Union. And I'm here with the RWSU and our locals representing every grocery worker in the New York City, in every borough of New York City, from locals 338, 342, and 1500. And we're all here with one clear message. New Yorkers deserve affordable groceries and good jobs. That's why we're proud to stand with you, Mayor Mamdani, as you take on the affordability crisis head on. Because let's be clear, working people are being squeezed every single day, and they need action, not slogans. Anyone can make promises during a campaign. What matters is who will fight and deliver for them. And delivering means bringing people together to open a store that does two vital things: lowers grocery prices and creates good jobs. Wait, pause. I mean, creates good union jobs. You can't solve the affordability crisis by cutting prices alone. Real affordability means food on the table and a paycheck you can live on. It means dignity. It means security. It means union jobs. So when this store opens in the Bronx next year, it won't just open its doors. It'll prove that New York can deliver affordable food, respect for workers, and results for working families. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for leading the charge on this. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Next time you come by here, there will be air conditioning and a new grocery store.
Hey, how's it going?
It seems like you're not concerned about this idea that maybe the city-owned grocery store will have a negative impact on non-city-owned grocery stores nearby. Do you have any mechanisms in mind or plans for monitoring those impacts?
You know, I first want to acknowledge our leadership from EDC, including Jeannie, who's right here with us, for the intensive work that they've been doing to make clear that our vision for a healthy ecosystem is a city-run grocery store alongside flourishing private market grocery stores as well as bodegas. And what we've seen in even the city's current and longstanding approach as it pertains to Essex Market is the ability for city subsidy to flourish alongside those private market operators. What I will say before passing it over to Jeannie is that we are incredibly excited about this site specifically, the timeline of the site, and that the grocery store will be the first to open by the end of next year, and that it is the fulfillment of a vision that so many Bronxites have had of transforming what was a site of such pain into one of hope and affordability. Jeannie, if you'd like to add anything to that question.
Yeah, and I also would say that as you know, the groceries, NYC Groceries is going to be a core basket of goods focused on fresh produce, everyday goods. So it's not going to be, it's going to offer the full range of what you see in the grocery store, but that's not going to be the discounted. It's only going to be core basket. So it's not, so there's still going to be a lot of room for, bodega owners and supermarkets to offer the regular, full, items that you see in the grocery store. So we have done a lot of outreach to the bodega owners and associations, and also the NSA Supermarkets Association. We are also doing targeted outreach once the site is announced. So we did a lot of outreach as it relates to La Marqueta, and we will be continuing to do that for La Peninsula.
And I'll just add one thing before the next question, which is just that this outreach, this engagement, it will continue after the launch of these city-run stores as well. And so there is going to be a continued commitment to ensuring the flourishing of the ecosystem as a whole.
Following up on Holly's question earlier, can you react specifically to the group that is blocking a bridge of $1 million to counter specifically the grocery store opening in Walmart?
Sorry, and what's the question is just to respond to them?
Like, how are you planning to, interact with these immigrant-led business groups, and is there any concern there?
I think that as Jeannie has said, there has been sustained outreach to a number of trade organizations representing grocery stores as well as bodegas, and then upon the announcement of any site, also outreach to the specific bodegas and supermarkets in that area, and that's going to continue. And what Jeannie has said is something that I will also restate, which is that oftentimes the items that drive most profit for these kinds of entities are also not the items that these city-run grocery stores are going to be selling. We're not going to be selling lottery tickets. We're not going to be selling a lot of the things that make the margin, whether it's tobacco products or things of that nature. And so we're excited to continue to have that conversation, and we take any concern seriously. And what I will also say is that our commitment to New Yorkers is to deliver them affordable groceries, and we are very excited about doing that. Yeah. Thank you, Jeannie.
Mr. Mayor, I wonder if you can talk about what is your stance on the MTA workers and their demands to the governor. Claire Valdez, the candidate you are endorsing for Congress, said she's going to join them on the picket line. Would you be willing to join them on the picket line as well?
What I will say is that I remain hopeful that both sides will be able to reach a fair deal for the workers that ensure that this commuter rail system actually runs, and for the riders who depend on that very same system. And I'll just take this opportunity also to speak directly to New Yorkers for whom the suspension of service is one of immense interest given the impact that it has on their lives, that New Yorkers should be planning for heavier congestion. They should be planning for longer travel times for the duration of the suspension of service. The MTA is providing limited bus service for essential workers, those who cannot telework, and for any New Yorker who wants to ensure that they are staying up to date on the most breaking developments, especially as we encourage the continued conversation around the resolution of this contract, is for them to sign up for Notify NYC. And they can, I'll just say they can do that by going to nyc.gov/Notify NYC or by texting 692-692 NYC.
Yes. Do you feel like you can't really comment on whether their demands are fair because this is a state, these are about state workers?
No, I feel like I can make my opinions, I can share them with any New Yorker at any time. And when it comes to this, I think the importance that I've laid out time and time again, both in private and public conversations, is a fair deal. And that is for the workers who make it run and for those who rely on that system.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Mr. Mayor. Good
Hi,
morning.
how are you, Melissa?
I'm well, thanks. Liz asked my MTA question for Andrew. So I'm going to ask you about you're hosting a Shavuot
Yes.
celebration tonight at Gracie Mansion. What's your message to some Jewish leaders who are being threatened with being canceled in your community if they come to your event tonight? Does the door need to remain open in order for you to continue to work with the Jewish community to fight anti-Semitism? And then just on the substance of one of your posts last week.
Could I first answer the first question, then we'll go to the second one? Thank you very much. My message to Jewish leaders across this city is that my door is always open, that I look forward to welcoming a number of those leaders to Gracie Mansion this evening for Shavuot. And I also know that that is a door that we will keep open beyond just this evening's event, beyond just Jewish American Heritage Month. And it is part of a commitment to be the mayor for every New Yorker. And that means a mayor for those who voted for you, who didn't vote for you, who didn't vote at all. And that also means that there will be times where you will meet New Yorkers at an event, at a specific conversation, out on the street. I look forward to all of those interactions. Your second question.
My second question is, you want to be the mayor for all New Yorkers. You've made this promise. Yet the city of New York seems to be now taking more, the city of New York posted this Nakba post last week, which was upsetting to some Jewish New Yorkers who felt that perhaps there at least should have been an acknowledgement that Holocaust survivors were also facing painful displacement. So, what should Jewish New Yorkers think about the fact that, using your official city accounts, you're now making certain statements about Israel, using your official city accounts? People understand your views on Israel, but, they don't necessarily feel like you speak out about all these other sorts of situations, other conflicts, other issues.
So I was proud to commemorate Nakba Day, which is an annual day on May 15th that commemorates the expulsion of more than 700,000 Palestinians from 1947 to 1945 during the creation of the State of Israel and for the year that followed. And it was a privilege to be able to share the story of Vinia and her story as not just a Nakba survivor, but also as a New Yorker. And I firmly believe that acknowledging any one's people's pain does not preclude you from the acknowledgement of another people's. And when it comes to New Yorkers like Ania and so many others, not only has their pain never been acknowledged, but so often we have seen that even their identity is up for debate. And my message to each and every New Yorker is that this is a city for you and that we will continue to be proud of everyone who calls it home.
There's no citywide tracker to track grocery prices, and the administration is considering, according to reports. I just wanted to get your sense on whether that is something that you're trying to do before deciding prices for the city-run grocery stores.
I think that's an interesting point that I'll bring up to the team. What I will say is that we have seen that the cost of groceries has been going up in this city and that it has outstripped even the increase that we've seen nationwide. And that's of immense concern because what we're talking about is not a luxury good. We're talking about produce. We're talking about eggs and milk and chicken. And for many New Yorkers, they are unable to plan their lives knowing whether they will be able to afford that next week because they don't know whether the price is going to continue to skyrocket.
How will you celebrate Arsenal winning the Premier League?
I just pray that I will be able to do so. Today is a big day. Hopeful.
I just wanted to ask for a little bit behind the scenes on the Nakba video. Can you give us more insight into those discussions? You're the first mayor to ever acknowledge this. How did you decide to do it in this way? Why didn't you appear in the video? If you could just give us a window into how you guys decided to acknowledge it.
So May 15th has long been the day of commemorating the Nakba, and there are many Nakba survivors in New York City. And we wanted to ensure that the focus of this was just to hear from a New Yorker herself on her own memories of what it meant to be expelled and what her life has been like and how she has found that home in New York City. We wanted to have a Nakba survivor be at the focal point of this video as opposed to myself. I was intending to be there as part of it. However, I did fall sick and we didn't want to create any kind of complication for her.